Hear the electric fuel pump kick in. Parking brake works. I always use that. '63 Studebaker Gran Turismo Hawk. This has a 289 V8 made by Studebaker with a Borg Warner P10 4-speed manual transmission. Sold new in Carmichael, California. I don't know how long it's been in Minnesota. I've had it since 2007. Being from California, it has a very clean body, although it's not perfect. There is some rust through underneath this aluminum rocker panel trim, and you can see at one time apparently this fender has been patched. You can see a crack here where I'm guessing a patch had been welded in. It might be a hole coming through, so it might be rusty underneath the trim here on the fender as well. I think there might have been like a rectangle patch put in here the way it looks. I can just barely make out a little imperfection here. Otherwise, it sounds good. Doors look good. This looks great. These are rust prone areas on the recorders, but this seems perfect. And I believe it's much the same on the other side of the car. It looks like it might be rusting through underneath the cover here, and I'm sure this rocker panel probably has some rust in it too. And I can see some imperfections in the fender here, so I'm guessing a patch was welded in here many years ago. But I don't detect the sound of body filler. But anyway, in this rear quarter, looks and sounds good. Doors look good. Doors look great on the bottom edge. I had put a patch in the floor here. There was some rusty issues, so I put a patch in here like 12 or more years ago. It's probably right after I bought the car back in 2007 actually, so it's like at least 15 years ago I suppose. I had the interior reupholstered using original type vinyl, so this vinyl matches the original vinyl exactly. I rebuilt the door panels because they use like a a dense cardboard backer, and it was all wrinkled up from moisture and age, whatever. So I reused the top vinyl, but I redid, I applied new carpet on the bottom of the door panels, and of course it matches the flooring carpet. The rear side panels are original. I didn't see any need to repair them, so I just left them alone. Headliner is original, and it looks tired, but it's there. If one were to repaint the car, that would be the time to put a new headliner in with the windshield and back window removed. That's the best time to replace the headliner. Yep, the horn works. Original AM push button radio. I put an aftermarket stereo down below. That works. I never use it though, because at highway speed the engine makes a lot of noise because it's spinning a lot of RPM. So it seems to drown out the radio unless you have it turned up really high. So that I had put 2 speakers in the back to go along with the stereo. Otherwise I would have just had, I believe, 1 single speaker in the center for the AM radio. Original armrest. Yeah, the back seat, I had that reupholstered along with the front seats, so everything is in good condition. Just a little dirty. New seat belts with the Studebaker logo. Easy entry into the back, even though it is just a 2-door. Windows cup went down really well. No issues, no stickiness, no roughness. Real smooth. The weather stripping was replaced apparently shortly before I bought it, because it's all in really nice condition. I put new Uniroyal tires on it. I don't know, maybe 10 years ago now, 8 to 10 years ago. I don't recall. But I've driven it so little. Of course, they have virtually no wear. I had the bumpers re-chromed by Keystone Automotive, I believe it was, in Brainerd, Minnesota. So it's like factory or show quality chrome. It's really smooth and shiny. I had the factory dual exhaust replaced because it was rusted out. So that's all in great condition. Now these came with an aluminum fascia for the rear of the deck lid, and I'm pretty sure I have one in my shed. I have to look for it. I had a decal made for it years ago, but because what I had at the time was in rough condition as far as the fascia, but I found a better one since then. I just never put it on. Brakes work well, although they're not power assist, so you gotta apply some pressure. You have to give it some effort to make them work well. It's not like a modern car in that respect. But it does have power steering. I washed the car yesterday, and soon after I washed it, birds saw it as a target to take a dump on it. See, bird poo on the hood and on the roof. Paint is old, but it still shines up. Originally this car would have been white. And I'll open up the hood so I can show you the original color. A better view of the front here. Grill shell isn't perfect, but I call it good driver quality. Still shines, no major pitting. Just looks old. I replaced the grill mesh with new a few years ago, so that looks great. I put a safety catch under here. You gotta release that before you can lift the hood up, before you can pop the release inside under the dashboard, I should say. There's the hood release. It's a pretty clean car, and that there's no leaks to speak of. There might be a little bit of oil that'll drip out the back of the engine when it's hot, but it's very, very minor. There are no coolant leaks. I never add any coolant to it. The radiator is dry, no coolant leaking out. I replaced the water pump many years ago, so that's good for a long time. I believe I put a new seal kit in the power steering pump. It seems to me at one point that leaked, but that's good now. I replaced the valve stem seals in it, but it still sucks oil through the valve guides. It has 101,000 miles on, I believe. Can verify with the odometer. Just 100,755 as we speak. And being it has no overdrive gear, the engine has seen a lot of revolution, so it has wear. It runs good, but it consumes some oil. Idle smoothly. It's not completely warmed up yet, but it's getting close. Seemed like a little hesitation on acceleration there, but I think that'll go away when it gets up to full operating temperature. If not, it could be the gases from last year. It hasn't seen much use. So yeah, this is original Herman white paint. got a factory streamer tag that says 4-speed. It doesn't appear very well, but it says stamped as 4-speed. Yeah, 63 is the first year for an alternator, as a test light alternator. So far as you could. Has a 2-barrel Stromberg carburetor. Still has ignition points. Originally it had a mechanical fuel pump that would have been down under here, but it went bad. I put a reproduction fuel pump in it, mechanical fuel pump, and it would not work. Well, reproductions are garbage. They do not work out of the box because they're not made. The rocker arm is misshaped, so it doesn't pump. It just doesn't activate. It doesn't work. So I put an electric fuel pump in the car, on it alongside the frame rail. Okay, there it is. That shows up, but it's got a plastic tie strapped to the frame, and it's been working great. Had it on there for maybe 4 or 5 years now. Frame looks to be in great condition. Fortunately, I don't have a lift at this time, so I can't lift up and show. Demonstrate the side air vents. Got this arm here. Pretty old school, pretty obsolete, but there it is. And same thing on the other side of the car. Here you have to open a door, and then there's a lever underneath the dash here for it. There that is. So this one you need to have open when you are using like the defrosters. Otherwise, I just typically leave them closed. Have the windows down when it's warm. But they do help when it is really hot. It gets more wind blowing through. I replaced this padded dash cover, it was, maybe 15 years ago, but it's in great condition. Still soft, pliable to the touch. Found an original owner's manual for it. So we got little indentations here for cups. It's not much of a cup holder, but they made an attempt anyway. So originally these had a wood grain finish. I wouldn't say painted on, more or less printed on, I should say. It was really faded and looked bad, so I bought some wood grain shelf paper. It's like a vinyl, self-adhesive vinyl. it looked great for the first couple of years, but then over time the vinyl shrinks. It dries out, it shrinks, and then it's most noticeable on the gauge panel because it's not straight or flat. It's beveled, and then as the vinyl shrinks, it pulls away where these bends are, or angles. So that's that. Sun visors look like they were replaced shortly before I bought it. They look really nice. I believe I put a new rear view mirror on it, and the chrome looks great, so yeah, I'm certain I replaced that. Mice or something ate the shift boot. It was brand new and they ate it. Chrome surround isn't too bad. It's got some pits. Also, it just needs cleaning. That windows work well. Trunk floor is in good condition, although there was or is some patching in the passenger side rear corner. I can see they had used some mud in there. Otherwise, the driver's side looks real good. These gaskets, even though these are very pliable, they don't seat tight against the trunk lid. Some people, they put spacers, like spacer tape or something of that sort, underneath the rubber gasket to bring it up higher, so it actually compresses when the trunk lid's closed. Because what happens is, when it rains or when you wash the car, you'll end up with water in the trunk. In fact, after I washed it yesterday, I had to soak up water. I better check. I think the spare tire belongs to all my other Studebakers, so it'll have a spare when it leaves. I have a modern day scissor jack. They work much better than what the bumper jacks these came with, because they would jack against the bumper and they would slip off or just generally cause damage to the bumpers. So I don't even carry a bumper jack in here. This is the base for a bumper jack, but it acts as a washer to hold the spare in place, which is proper. Got the lug wrench in there and stuff. This bottom edge was rusted out when I bought the car, so I bought a 1-inch tall patch panel from Classic Enterprises and welded that in, and then I applied a body filler because Actually, there's ridges stamped in this rear panel. It was used for design back in 1956 and later when they didn't have a fascia cover. Anyway, so I smoothed it out, put this decal on obviously, and then just used rattle can paint to make it match as close as I could. Look at the underside here. You can see where I welded. I don't see any sign of any rust returning. I think there's a little bit of filler in here. And some bubbling or something right here. So there might be, sounds like metal. There might be a little bit of filler back in here. Maybe it had been welded, a patch welded in, I don't know. This is the paint that was on the car when I bought it back in 2007. So I don't know what all has been done prior to that. There's some bubbling going on the roof here. Maybe that's California rust, where they get salt from the ocean spray will collect in the rain gutters. So I don't know how extensive this is, but I can see bubbling here. However, I don't see any place else. This side looks good. I think that about covers it. I can't think of anything else as far as details on the car. So thanks for watching.